Kansas City is a magical place where you can always experience something new and celebrate with your crew. It's full of bright lights and unforgettable nights. It's where dreams become real and love is passed down through your favorite meal. Thank you, Kansas City, for always having a place for us at your table.
Dion Clisso with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. Fastest internet with multi-gig speeds to the most homes. All right, as we kick off the virtual media day for the Suburban Red Conference, which is kind of a mesh of the Suburban Silver from last year. They go from 5 to 4. We start with Liberty coach Chad Vergon. And coach, good season last year. We were talking about just before we went on the air, you had those 4 losses, twice to the state champions. Once to Lee Summit North, and we know how good they were, or Lee Summit West. And I think those teams had a combined probably less than 6 losses all season long. And you bring a lot of players back from that team. How excited are you about this squad this year?
Well, we're excited. We, looking back at last year at this time, we knew we were going to start a lot of young kids. We ended up starting 14 sophomores throughout that year and really didn't know what to expect record-wise. But credit to our kids. They fought hard in a lot of games and found some way to win some close ones. And we got a lot to build on from last year coming into this season.
You bring, 10 back on the defensive side, eight back on the offensive side. What does that look like in the summer when you got a group that's got that much experience? Are you fine-tuning more things, or are you trying to build that depth and get the younger guys behind them as much playing time as you can? So when you do lose someone, and that will happen, those guys are ready to step in.
Yeah, you said it right there. It's a combination of both those things. And we did install different this year than we have with our older kids, but at the same time, spent a lot of time with our newcomers that came into our program and, finding those kids that, that maybe a diamond in the rough or just haven't quite got there yet that can fill in and find a spot for us. So it's been a great summer in that standpoint, and that we were able to go at a little quicker speed than last summer.
As you look at the moving conferences, it's a lot of the same players people have been playing before, and you still keep Liberty North and things like that. Right. Do you like going from 5 to 4? That's I haven't really asked that many people that, but I know that the smaller conference, it was tougher to decide a champion and all conference was a little watered down. Do you like it now? It's a 16 conference and going back down to 4 for the Suburban Conference.
Yeah, definitely. I think that for us, it's pretty good regionally with Oak Park and both Park Hills being right up here by us. And I think that helps, from a travel standpoint, not that we ever travel a long ways, but it is nice having those regional rivalries within our conference right up here. So it'll be, for us, it seemed like our non-conference games are, we still play Blue Spring South, still play Lee Summit and Lee Summit, Blue Spring South. And obviously we have Lee Summit, to open the season with. So we still have a lot of games from that upper conference that's right above us. So I don't think our kids see a lot of difference in the schedule.
Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Thank you.
Dion Clisso with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. Count on a reliable connection for all your devices, even when everyone's online. All right, we move ahead here in the Suburban Red Virtual Media Day, and we are joined by new North Kansas City coach Dan Joyner. And Coach, you spent a lot of time at North Kansas City as an assistant, and then you went down to Grandview for 3 years, and now back replacing Coach Douglas, who's moved on to the college ranks and is kind of moving through his career. How exciting is it to be back at North Kansas City? You guys had a lot of success when you remember that staff.
Sure. It's a really exciting time. It's something that is not familiar with me. I've never really been back to a place. So I was here for 7 years and it was a great time. Really enjoyed it. I got to see my older son go through and graduate from Northtown. So he's an alum, and we're just really excited about the opportunity and excited to hopefully get it back on track to where we were before I left.
Well, taking over a job that you were on staff I know some things can change while you're gone, but how much is similar to what you guys were doing, and how did that help you kind of hit the ground running with this group?
From from a facility standpoint, it's for the most part exactly what it was when we left. So we won't know where everything's at. We know the location, the weight rooms there, the locker rooms, and all that stuff. So a lot of familiarity there. But the players, it's really it's a new change for them because obviously when I left, the group that was freshmen then they graduated last year. So
Mhm.
from a standpoint, kids, everything's new to them as far as whether it be offense, defense, the way we conduct ourselves, how we practice and stuff. It's like a fresh start and new for them.
Well, like you said, it was kind of a little bit of a down year last year, but we know the talent is there at North Kansas City, and they've had good success over the last decade. What have you seen out of this group this summer that's got you excited?
Anytime you start a new situation, new program, you're really interested to see how buy-in and when it takes place. And I'm really excited to, the kids have really bought in the culture that we're preaching. I got a phenomenal staff of gentlemen that are great leaders that show up every day, and they make the transition a lot easier for me and the kids. But you're always curious when that's going to happen. Is it mid-season? Is it in the off season? Does it happen early? And I'm really excited to say, the kids have bought in early to what we're preaching, to what we're saying, and what we're coaching, and we're excited to see how it transfers over during the season.
Is there one position group or a side of the ball that's really taken a big step forward?
I would say all of us have. I'm really happy with how much we progressed from the start of the summer course until now. I would say definitely when you talk experience, we got defensively, we got our defensive line. Most of all those guys are returning, so obviously having that experience from them from the defensive standpoint, and I'm really happy how our offensive lines progressed throughout the summer. So that's kind of my baby. That's kind of what I hang my hat on. So I'm really excited to see how they progress as we've gone through the summer.
Coaching staff wise, you said you got a good group of leaders. That's like you said, a unique situation. You're coming back to guys you coach with. There's always some turnover, but that's got to
Sure.
make you feel pretty comfortable that you're not looking to maybe bring in some new people to kind of do way things you know how to do.
The crazy thing about that is there's 11 guys, including me, on staff, and I have worked with at some point, shape or another, 9 of them. So there's only one gentleman that I haven't worked with, whether it be, when we return, guys that were here when I left, or guys that have came with me. So we're really excited, and that's made it an easy transition because coaches know exactly what we're doing. It's one voice relayed to the kids, so we're really excited. And I think that's helped us, and that's the reason we progressed so quick during the summer.
Well, coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Dion Closo with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. The speed's faster than a gig. You can power a house full of connected devices all at once. As we continue to move through the Suburban Red Virtual Media Day, we move on to Oak Park, and Coach Ken Clemens joins us. And Coach, fantastic season last year. I know it ended sooner than you wanted it to, but 11-1, one of the best seasons for Oak Park in a long time. And you've been building to that group, and they did a good job. But you bring a lot of good players back off of that team heading into this year, and it seems like Oak Park is kind of up and running right now.
Yeah, I mean we've got good kids. They've worked hard, and our numbers within the program keep climbing, and so there's a lot of positive stuff.
Offensively, well, you bring back a great tailback and some really good players. What are you guys going to look like this year?
Well, we'll look a lot like we did last year. I think we may do a little less of the option game and maybe a little more of throwing, but we'll look the same.
What have you seen out of that offensive group? That is there any one position group that's taken a big step forward for you this summer?
I think our receiving crew from the tight end on out to the wide receivers and stuff have proven that they're pretty athletic kids, and I think they can make up for the loss of Evan Braxton, who was huge for us on the big plays. I think we have some other kids that are going to be able to fill those shoes.
Defensively, you got a lot of starters coming back. Have you seen that group when you have that experience coming back? What kind of things you focus on in the summer when you've got experienced kids?
Well, it just makes it really hard to get anything done on offense when your whole defense is really experienced and really fast and good ball players. So, but you know, some of them are changing positions a little bit here and there. So there was a lot to work on. And, you know, we have a hard time getting back to line of scrimmage and practice. So I hope that means that they're good and not the other.
Well, tell me this: the Oak Park community is a great one. You guys have had the home stadium now for a few years. That's a great atmosphere on Friday nights. And since your tenure there, that all those things have happened. What's it mean for you as an Oak Park grad to be a part of this now, where you're back at home on the high school field, there right next to the building? What's this last few years meant to you to be a part of this whole thing?
You know, it's what means the most to me really is just to see the smiles and the joy in parents' faces and in the kids' faces and your fellow coaches and your colleagues and everybody. Just see the excitement and joy that comes when you win. I'd say that, you know, that's been the most rewarding aspect of it.
Well, and it kind of bleeds over. I mean, your boys basketball program has been really good, girls basketball, and you know, I've been to a few events there. That there's a definitely a buzz around Oak Park, and they always say football is kind of the front door of your school.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of good things going on. I think the track won the conference championship. I know basketball did. I think baseball did. I mean, just all along the way, things are just getting better in every way at Oak Park.
Well, coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Thank you.
Dion Closa with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet, the fastest internet with multi-gig speeds to the most homes. We move through the Suburban Red Virtual Media Day. We're joined by Park Hill coach Andy Sims. And coach, you know, a little bit better last year, kind of growing as the program goes on. What do you like about this group?
We got a good group of seniors mixed in with some younger players that have got a lot of experience. So, you know, sometimes last year, a lot of those younger kids, it was the first time ever playing. So they're coming back. Then you also got a good mix of seniors that maybe haven't started in years past, but they put in their time, worked hard, and they're excited to get out there and play. So overall, love this group of kids.
What do you see out of your offense this summer that's got you excited?
Offensive line has done a great job. Our skilled players have some playing time. We have a great senior and Fed Marshall running back that's going to be a first year starter, and then we got two kids battling out at the quarterback position. So everybody's been very coachable. Everybody's wanting to do their best. We make our mistakes like everybody does, but when you're coachable, it makes it a lot more enjoyable.
Defensively, is there one position group that's taking a big step forward for you?
I think all position groups on defense has. You know, we have our secondary's pretty solid right now. Our defensive line has done a great job, and our linebackers backing them up. Not to say that they're in a backup role by any means, but really just kind of fitting together. And I think defensively, that's 99% of it. Getting lined up correctly and then playing hard after that, and then you can make adjustments accordingly.
This is your fourth season, so these are kids that have gone all the way through. Are you starting to see that now? The culture and how you want to do things, and these kids all understanding exactly what you and your staff want?
You know, we had our parent meeting the other night and our player parent meeting the other night, and you know, had some pictures up there on the screen of kids that were still in COVID masks when I first got here, and some of those things they were trying to do when I first got here, and wasn't even allowed to really have a team meeting. You know, Park Hill's rules were still pretty strict at that time of meeting, and now fast forward to now, it kind of feels a little bit more like a regular year. All these every year's filled a little bit more with that as well. And two, some of that's being the new guy, you know, me kind of understanding how they do things at Park Hill was a lot different than how we did things at Blue Valley North. And so being able to work around certain scenarios like that makes everybody's job a little bit easier.
Well, coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dion Closa with Preps KC from the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet, fastest internet with multi-gig speeds to the most homes. As we move through the Suburban Red Virtual Media Day, we move on to Park Hill South and Coach Justin Ponce. And Coach, second year there, had the full off season. You got to feel like you're ahead of the game as compared to where you were this time last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, kind of like what we were talking about before, it's just, the little things of knowing where the copier is, knowing where the printer paper is, knowing who to ask for something in the front office. And, I was talking with Aaron Neeser in the spring, and he just took the head girls basketball job at Liberty. And he was talking about his first morning there, that it took him an extra 30 minutes to find the extension cord and the gun and the light switch and all those things. And so it's all those things. I spent so many years at Park Hill where you know it like the back of your hand, then you come over to somewhere new and you're like, I have no idea where the light switches in the auditorium are. So let's go find that for 20 minutes. And the kids don't know me. And I'll always say this, I'm by nature, a little bit of a sarcastic person. And I think it was till like week 6, I made a joke and finally someone was like, he's kidding, guys, relax. Like, so it was finally like, hey, about halfway through the years, they're kind of getting it. And so, and it's been so awesome this year, kind of a breath of fresh air of being able to hit the ground running and not have to explain who we are and what we call this drill and why we do this drill. And we can just kind of go into it. And like we said before, we can lean on some of those returners of, hey, you remember this drill from last year, show the young guys how to do it and they can jump in there and do it. And last year, first year taking over a program, you don't really have that luxury.
Well, tell me this, how's your offense look this summer?
So it's been fantastic. And again, kind of moving some pieces around. And Brock Harmon, who's been one of our stud defensive linemen the last 2 years, we're going to kind of war daddy him a little bit. And he's going to be playing tackle and D-line for us. And he's been fantastic. And so really gelling together. And again, lost a few pieces from last year, but we brought back a ton of guys. And so you can kind of see that continuity going. And Bryce Aldridge, who was our long snapper and backup quarterback last year, has, fully dove into being the starting quarterback from November with going to O-line meetings and going to all those kind of things. So he's really embraced that leadership role of the quarterback.
Defensively, is there a group that's stood out to you?
So I would say, with Coach Rosie Gibson taking over the defense, he's moved to more of a 3-3-5 look. And so those linebackers and hybrids have really done a fantastic job. And I mean, there was a couple times during the spring where their hybrids are jamming our number 2 receiver so much that like we literally can't get off the ball and kind of go. And like the offensive coaches are getting really upset. And I'm like, guys, this is our team too. So this is fantastic that, they're playing this physical and they can kind of do that this early in the season. So I would say that hybrid linebacker core has really stood out this summer.
I know last year there was some issues just in terms of what your record looks like wasn't necessarily the on the field. Was it easy to kind of cleanse that and just say, we know what we did on the field. We know who we were on the field. That's what matters.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where, the frustrating thing was, we lost most of those games anyways in heartbreaking fashion. And so it didn't really matter what got changed. And that's what we kind of pounded the drum all off season, starting off season workouts and, in January, doing them in the morning is like, guys, we have to finish games. And, and I forget the numbers right off the top of my head, but something like 4 or 5 of the losses, we had a double-digit lead at some point in the game. And a lot of those, that double-digit lead was in the second half. So it's like, guys, we're a good team. We're there, but we just have to learn to finish. And, the same message that to the kids that everyone we play on our schedule is talented. We don't have any cupcakes that we get to roll out our helmet and there's an automatic win. Like that doesn't happen at this league. So like, you have to go out there and finish games. And that was kind of my message to them at the end of the year is like, do you think we're a terrible team? No, well, our record says we are, but, and again, that's what people think of us. So you have to give them that respect. And so, really this group of seniors that are small, but they're mighty, and they've really embraced that being held accountable and being coached hard. So that's been awesome to see.
Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck. And we appreciate you taking time with us.
Thanks, sir.
Deion Clisso with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. Fastest internet with multi-gig speeds to the most homes. And we close out the Suburban Red Virtual Media Day with new St. Joe Central coach Sheldon Farrell. And Coach, you're telling me you're a Central guy, graduated there in 2009. You've been on staff with Coach Trotter, been a part of this great turnaround that's stabilized this program that had gone, year after year with a new coach there for a while. What is exciting for you becoming the head coach? And this is your first summer camp, all that kind of stuff as the head coach. How exciting has that been for you?
I think the the first thing is just exciting because, like you mentioned, I'm a Central Indian. I played for Coach Dudek. I can remember when I was in high school. This was something that I always wanted to do and take over. And that was kind of the goal when I came back to help Coach Trotter. When I came back, took over offense, he was like, "Hey, I want you to be the guy when I'm done." And so it's kind of cool to see that kind of play out. The summer's been great. The kids, the them knowing who I am and what I stand for and what I'm about, have really bought in, have gone all in. Um, Working in the weight room, on the field at practices. It's been cool to kind of experience it from the head
Well,
coaching side.
that takes away a lot of the usual questions for the new head coach, like how much did you get to see him in the spring? How you've learned everybody's name now. That kind of makes it easier because you've already got that stuff right there. How was there much change that you guys have put in this summer, or is it more of a continuation of what you guys are already doing on either side of the ball or special teams?
Offense really probably won't change much. I'm still gonna, try to handle most of that. I got help there though, and that was one thing I wanted to make sure we kept our good staff. We did lose some guys just for personal reasons, but I do think the guys that we brought in are good, great guys that love kids that will coach them up. I think we have 14 staff between paid and volunteered,
That's awesome.
and 12 of them are Central Indians. And so that was kind of my big goal is I want to keep it in house because I think it means a little bit more. I think you work a little bit harder, when it's when you can relate to those kids because 15, 16 years ago that was me. So.
Mhm. Offensively, what do you like that you've seen so far this summer?
I mean, the obvious one is Gabe Fields. Being, I will say I've seen his growth. Um, he's a special kid. As good as he is on the football field, he's a better human being. He's a better teammate. He does everything you could ever ask as a head coach, and even the last couple of years as a coordinator. Um, but then just seeing some of these young guys, we're going to be sophomore heavy. We're probably going to play more than originally I'd probably like to, but I think they'll be ready. To step in and compete. I don't, there's going to be learning curves, obviously with when you're playing 15, 16-year-old kids, but what they're showing so far this summer offensively is exciting, just for the future. I mean, because again, I don't plan on going anywhere. This was like my number one spot. Turned down a couple other offers, other places. And this is where I want to be. Um, Defensively, we're keeping things that are similar. Coach Trotter did call the defense, um, but we're going to kind of simplify some things, and just my philosophy in general is get it to where kids can play fast and they understand. And I think if they can play fast and they're not out there thinking, in our situation, probably being this one of the smallest ones in the Suburban Red, I think that we need everyone to play fast and play hard and not think up there.
Well, coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks.